I had a special request from Rose to make twisted wire rings with beads. What you're going to need for this project is 20 gauge wire, 22 gauge wire, your tools, a ring mandrel, and the beads. For the first one, I'm just taking about an 8 to 10 inch piece of wire and bending it in half with my round pliers. You want to have each wire going out at an angle, straighten them out a little bit, hold the little loop with your flat pliers and twist the wire. You're going to hold the wire with your thumb and finger, keeping the wires out at an equal angle, and keep twisting the wire. This is 20 gauge wire and it's copper, so it's pretty soft and easy to work with. Be sure to keep the wires out at an angle, and you're going to measure a couple of inches depending on the size of your finger. Twist the end around and cut it flush. Use your flat pliers to push the little rough end in and straighten the wire out a little bit. From there, we're going to wind it around the ring mandrel, or you can wind it around a marker or any round form. And then take the end, you can trim it if you like, and put it through the loop. Okay. Now you're going to put it on the ring mandrel. Press it against the mandrel to make sure it's round and push the wire straight up. After that, get your round pliers and bend it at the radius of the bead. Slide on your 6mm bead and then take the end and wind it through and around the band. Give the wire a little tug, put it around a second time if you want, and clip the end flush. Now you can get your flat pliers to push the little rough end in, put it back on the ring mandrel to adjust it, and there you have your first ring. So for the second one, we're going to start the same way with bending the wires around to form a loop on one end. Hold it with your flat pliers and twist as we did in the first ring. So once you have about half the circumference of the ring, we're going to bend one of the wires and slip the bead on there, and then crisscross the wires again at the same angle we did before. Straighten them out if you need to straighten the wires, and then we're going to continue our twist. So just continue the twist to do the other half of the band. So it's going to be about 1 1 1/8 depending on the size of your finger. And then we're going to take one end, twist it around, and clip it flush. Push in the little rough end. And then we're going to clip that end to about 1/4 inch. And then get our round pliers again and form the loop. So the end is really flush in there. Get your flat pliers to push it right in. Make sure the loops are going the same direction. Make sure the band is straight, and then put it on the ring mandrel and bring the ends around. Now if you have a metal mandrel, you can hammer these a little bit so they're a little stiffer. Push the little ends in with the flat pliers as you need. And you can have those ends overlapping or just reaching each other flush. And there you have a more adjustable ring with the twisted wire. So for the third one, these are very similar to my rings to make and sell tutorial. So the band is a separate piece of wire, starting in the same way that we did before, doing our twist. This is 20 gauge wire. And then once you have about 2 to 2¼ inches, we're going to bend one end around and clip it flush. Use the flat pliers to pinch in that rough end. Clip the wire to about 1/4 inch. Get your round pliers and bring in your loop and pinch it. So now we have a loop on either end, and bring it around the ring mandrel. Just bring it all the way around. Push it and then remove it from the mandrel. Get your flat pliers. You want to bend these up at a right angle. This is going to hold the bead in place. So we're bending those up. Adjust them a little bit if you need. So that's your band. And then we're going to get a 22 gauge piece of wire. Put it through the first loop, add the bead, and put the wire through the second loop. Hold it in place, take your end and wind it through the band. You can wind it through a couple of times. Flip it over and push the bead and the loops on either side of the bead so they're snugly there. And then wind the wire around a couple of times, making sure those loops are really hugging the bead. Give it a little tug on both sides. Clip the ends flush with your flush cutters on the other side as well. And then flat pliers to pinch in that rough end. Back on the ring mandrel just to make sure it's got the good shape. You can push those loops in a little bit if you need. You really want them to hug that bead. This is an 8mm bead, and you can also make it with a 6mm bead. They're the two different sizes. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.